So this sure is something else, isn't it? This is going to be a quiet video. Normally on Saturdays, or at least the last two Saturdays, I've spent a vast part of my Saturday recording Dead Space 3, but Como didn't come on when he should have, and it's now way too late to do any major recording, so how about it we do something that's completely different because, hey, I love shaking things up every once in a while. I played a visual novel when I shouldn't have. I am planning to do the Dutch translation for Angels With Scaly Wings, which is going to be a heck of a job. It's not just text. There's a couple of images that need editing. I don't know how to do that. If someone can help me with that, please. I can give you the text. You just have to make it all work if you've got some photoshopping skills. There's also a lot related to the passwords and the secret ending. If you don't want to be spoiled, I'm going to fucking spoil you. So instead of a playthrough, I could just do this, although I've done a lot of back work already. So I'm going to translate it to Dutch, in case you know. I do love the fact that this is just supported, but fuck if it isn't annoying as heck. You can already see here that, yeah, the way this works is it literally just replaces lines, which means that, yeah, see here, see this? I don't know, is that supposed to be there? Oh no, that was me. That was entirely me. You gotta be careful with that, because those little edits can break things. No music, because I don't know any good music to put in the background of these things, and usually the stuff I would probably get me copyrighted. Or would it? I could do it, but the risk is too great. So, translation work is interesting. Oh, goddamn, detecting. That's such a fucking term to try and translate. I mean, the thing with this kind of stuff is, with translation is, you can do two kinds of translations. You can translate it raw and then try to reform it, but I already know what it's supposed to be like. I'm way too bilingual for my own good. The problem is, no Dutch person is gonna say directly, is gonna say detecting. They're gonna use some other term. Although, since this is system, I guess I could go with it. The problem is, the gerund, the, detecting is a busy word. So usually when you say that, you say you are busy with detecting. Dutch has its own benefits, but I've noticed that a lot of like short phrases tend to get strung out because there needs to be certain contextualization. You may also notice that this is now combined. It is now one word, and now we do this. This is the CPS. These are a bunch of basically code words that the RenP uses to make certain things happen. So here's something weird. I can translate this in two ways. I can translate this as directly user profile not found, or I translate it to a more natural user profile could not be found, because I guess I could just do it raw. But the thing is, there's a certain degree of expectation that comes with Dutch. If you say user profile not found, that sounds a bit mechanical and weird, and I guess that works for system. I guess omitting the more nuanced pieces would work, because you think that it would be made in English and then it's translated to Dutch because everything's made of fucking English nowadays. But in Dutch you would say could not be found. Like you add that little layer of nuance of what happened. Like this sounds very strict. Indirect. You might also notice, again, compound words are a lot, and I have really big problems with compound words, but they are a big deal. And now I just do, this is really nice, this is just direct translation. This is a simple phrase, you can just hopscotch, go straight through, hopscotch, go straight through, hopscotch, go straight through. There's a lot of that. And there I can just do another direct translation because it's easy. This is system, and I think the way I'm going to translate system is I'm going to have system be flat. It's very straight language. Even Sassy starts to bring in those Dutch nuances that we all love and respect. Another problem is the game actually has the passwords. Not only there's also a couple of puns that I'm going to have to edit. The creator did mention don't localize it. Localization is two steps, and I've talked about this on my Twitter, and I've been giving it a little thought. There's two ways you can localize things. You can localize things by making it adapted to the people that are listening to it, and to adapt it to the culture that's listening to it. Jelly donuts is a perfect example of the lateral. And this is a really awkward phrase, so does this look alright? I guess that is a phrase, but the weird thing is I'm not that good with Dutch. As you may notice, an extra word's been added. Yeah. Outscene. Yes. The reason is... Fucking hell. Or, I think that's a dove, actually. Outscene is the complete term for how something looks. Man, that's so interesting when you really... Like, this is going to bring me closer to my own language. I'm looking for someone to do second passes. Because I'm not trusting myself with that. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, man. What tense is this? Is bevestigd. Very bevestigd. So, the problem with this is, in Dutch, there's a little fucking dipshit rule called the DT rule. The way it works is if it's a past tense, you have the DT rule related to the kofschip, which tells you whatever you need to use either a D or a T. So, for example, it's this. This is I find. And then it's you find. Then suddenly there's a T. That makes sense. That's how it always works. But, Nate, fuck, that's a transitive verb. That doesn't work. Why do I always pick transitive verbs? Because it's transitive. It doesn't work like that. And I think it's still that for the U type. Funny thing, we have jij is singular, and jullie is plural. So we actually have distinction, unlike you pieces of shit. We also have you, looks a lot like you, u. But that's the formal term. You usually say je or jij, if you mean you. So that's a funny fucking thing that you might not know about Dutch here. A little bit like a language, yeah! You learn nothing, you piece of shit. Don't even pretend. I need to remove this line because that's not a part of it. Yeah, I think this is... Yeah, since it's is, I think it would be with a D, because this is not in the kofschip. But still, is it... I don't think that's even a version of it, though. We'll just stick with it. If someone better at Dutch can just tell me, because those are the little things I'm going to need help with. Oh, fuck, review. Fuck. Now, you might say, why the fuck do you have this with you? Bored now. Yeah, I was thinking of this one, herzien. But that's not really a term you use. I think the proper term... I think if we want to go for control... Because I think, yeah... Oh, fuck, how do you put that? Because the context... So this is completely different. This is raw localization. Before we begin, is really what this is. Before we start, you have to turn that to beginning, because no one is going to say it before we starting. No one's going to say that. If they say that, they're a little bit raw. Usually you say begin, because that's just the. I guess you could say start. I guess that would be something that system would do. System would use the raw dictionary term, and I guess review could technically. This doesn't work. Recensi literally means a video game review. That kind of review. Apparently, that's also a magazine. Didn't know that. A parade. Huh. Yeah, these are not any terms I can use. Let's see if there's any more terms we can use. Yep, the best one I can do is control. So this is, please review the following information. What I say is control, so check, review, if this information is correct. Fuck. The problem here is, please. That's, yeah. I guess I could put it there. But I could use AUB. That the term is alsjeblieft is the term. The problem is that technically translates to als u blieft, which is the one everyone uses. No one says, some say alsjeblieft, some say alsjeblieft, which translates to AUB. But the way you would put that in a system is like this. You'd put it at the end. You'd make it this little thing that notches on at the end. This is localization, and this is also very much my interpretation. And that's what localization usually is. It's someone's own experience with the language. If you send someone who's Frisian on this, or you send someone from like Limburg, they're going to give you a completely different version of this, and they're still going to say it's right. Fuck controls. So, we don't really have the term clicking. If system is going to be treated as a raw Dutch speaker, they would not use the term clicking. They would use pressing keys. So, let's go. Controls. That would be besturing. That would just be that. This is a new line. Very common code is, I think that's /n. N is new line. It's very commonly used. In just about every language, this is new line. So if you ever want to know what BR is in other languages, in case you're only HTML savvy, it's that. Of the enter toets. Consistency is important, so we're going to do it like this. Now, I want to say this, but the enter enter refers to an English word, technically speaking. So it has to be done like this, just to keep some... Actually, no, I think you still compress them. I'll do this just for clarity's sake. And I guess that would be the more logical thing, since if this is a system, it's going to append things. So it needs to have this always working rule. And there are certain circumstances in which this would not work. If it influences the pronunciation of the final character, there are certain rules with things like the umlaut. So I guess this would be the proper way to do it, if you want to make it a flexible language. That's not applicable here, since this is all hard-coded, but also that is supposed to be a... Not that. It also puts everything wrong because it's not using Dutch, but whatever. Yeah. To advance the text, I want to say this, which means playing it through. Fuck. Oopsies. Now here, no umlaut, because O doesn't do anything. If it was the other way around, certain characters may be required to establish that they are different. Although I think usually in that situation you put a hyphen, and in some situations you put... No, I think you only put in the... I don't know those rules, because they're not that common. And... Funny enough, we do have a term for the spacebar, which is just spacebar. Although spatie is not spaces in space in the sky. I don't even think it's a proper version. I never seen that term in anything but the spacebar. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for doorspelen. Fuck, this is useful. How the hell do you put this down? Okay, let's think about... So if you can't immediately translate something, you have to think about it. The way you do it is you start thinking about what is the essence of the sentence? What is the key idea the sentence is supposed to convey? What do you want the sentence to say to the user? And how should they receive that information? Also, if you hear my fucking thing hum, that's because my voice is at the right tone to resonate, and I love fucking with it. I love making a tone that makes it go whoop, and then goes brrr. It's really fun. You might also notice it's a bit longer, and that's because I have to add certain nuances, because English is very, very hacky-slashy with how it handles things. Trust me, this is hacky-slashy as fuck, comparatively. Or maybe it's just because I know only the fuller version. I want to make this sound serious. I want to make this sound like a computer. Also, that T should not be there. There's a lot of T's in there that should not have been there. Fuck, why does it keep doing this? Oh, okay, I know. It does that because this is referring to buttons. Technically speaking, I guess I could use those. I think I'm going to do that. You have to do this double because otherwise it thinks you're entering a variable. The problem is I'm not going to call this space. Enter is actually labeled on the key in most situations. Spacebar is not usually labeled. In fact, on mine, it's just a little line at the top because it has light-up keys. Fuck. Did I mention je before? Because if I used je before, I need to keep that consistent. I think I'm going to use you. Yeah. So here's the funny thing. If I use je, it's not with a T, but if I use this, I have to use one. Whatever you is with is uppercase or lowercase, depends on how formal you are. This is a clumsy sentence, but this is a clumsy sentence. So, when you really think about it, this is useful to avoid making a selection by mistake. You could also say this is useful to avoid accidentally making a mistake, which is really what I'm saying here. Escape, man. Fuck, it's been so long since I've actually remembered that escape does in fact say escape. So I'm going to add a little use, because this is, again, an English sentence. You cannot say in Dutch, escape to bring up a menu. You have to say use it. If you don't, I think it just sounds extremely clumsy. The problem is I'm so bilingual that I usually make anglicisms, so I tend to mess up the language structures a bit. So I'm going to stick to the one that I know for certain is true. This looks very awkward, but that's just how it works out. If I could use LMB. Technical term is LMB, not left click. But there you go. Fucking LMB, man. Also, my nostrils, usually only one is open at a time. And today it's the one that's on the microphone, so sorry! To show the menu, not bring up the menu. I don't think that's a term we use at all. I'm not very familiar with anything. Yeah, I'm gonna go with F. Just do a little bit to it like that. F. I don't know if we have toggle. Let's see if we do have one for toggle. Yeah, that's not gonna fucking work. That's not gonna work. We also don't have a term for full screen. And as you can see, I'm using the directly translated version. Although this sounds very clumsy. Yeah, I think if we're going to do it like this, we have to do this. We have to make it a complete term. And then... de het wiel, de wiel. The funny thing is, page up and page down, they've really turned into just pachoop, pachoop, and padun, padun. Oh, fuck, this is a clumsy sentence. I'm gonna do it like this, page up. So this is a hard sentence to translate. View past and rewind, that's not really what this does. It just scrolls back. Oh my god, I fucking hate this thing. I usually have video game sounds to distract me from the fact that my voice keeps resonating with the goddamn heater. So I'm just gonna say to watch previous messages. This is what happens when you start localizing shit. It just turns awkward. And if you say, but boy, I want something else today. No! How about no? How about I'm doing this and I want to bring you along for the ride? I probably won't be doing this a lot, since this is extremely boring and becomes very samey at some point. Although I do get to talk about the game once we get past these fucking parts. So this is annoying. You have to specify that you're keeping it pressed. You can't just say houd control. You also have to specify you're pressing something in. Druk in. So you get 2 fucking extra parts. I'm seeing that. I'll go to the next sentence. Rest is the same. Seen messages doesn't sound very English. It sounds like someone who fucking borrowed something. Screenshot. Is there a term for screenshot? Yep. Nope. Nope. They don't have one. Yep. They don't have one. So I'm just going to say makes a picture of the current screen. This is mostly literal translations. So, that's an easy sentence. I'm going to do this literally. And then we just glue this all on. It's going to be one extra period here. The KPS refers to speed. I don't know what W refers to. I think that's just a wait, and then I think that's wait for input or something. Oh, I think I know what this is from. Although I can't see that right fucking now. So here, the game actually has code for this. I did not know this because I didn't review Chapter 1 as much as I should have. If you play the demo, it apparently lets you... The problem is that, even though that shows up, I don't think I do anything with the rest. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, see, it's all double. The year is 20... This line is a reference to... Listen. That's not a reference. That is literally just saying what the fucking date is. Like, I understand these comments like, hoo-hoo, here's a joke. It actually literally references this fucking XCKD fucking thing. But here, listen. Or, no, it's XKCD. This is not relevant. This is a very standard line. The fact that it's a reference to something, only I know because you specifically mentioned it. And I spat all over everything. I need to copy these lines. Give me a moment, because this is boring. I just noticed something that's kind of important. I think that what this review refers to... Fuck, out of the way. Oh no! This is not a control. This is review as in watch this information. Before we start, read, lees de volgende instructies. So what we're actually doing is we're telling someone to read instructions. That works in English. It does not work in Dutch. And this is one of those fucking things that you really only notice when you really think about it. Yeah, this is one of those things that makes localization kind of hard when all you have is the raw text. And that's kind of important. Hey, that one doesn't have any of the slowdown. That's interesting. I imagine this is like a rerun in case you want to read it again or something. This, I don't have to care about. I think that's it. That's all the fucking raw, boring system stuff. The year is 20XX. I still love how he mentions that's a reference. That he finds that interesting enough to mention. And now comes the part where I have to start translating human speech. So I don't think they ever say this, but this never used. You usually just say it is... I don't know why. If you want to be raw and factual, yes, you could say the jaartal is in the year number. But that usually people don't do. They just say, it's 2000. It's 2016. You know, it works better that way. The year is, I guess, I don't know. If they I guess I should do it just because it's mechanical and it's a reference. So I'm going to keep that in. Although, if I want to keep it real, I'm going to do that. Now it's an awkward line that reads a little bit weird, and it might make people think, I don't know if they translated it in the trailer. Because if they have a translated trailer, I would have to watch the translated trailer. Only a German trailer exists, so that is not of significance. Slight detail, there is a button on my numpad, which is fucking annoying. Where the num lock button usually is a button called the rock button. It activates the gaming center that it gives nothing about. Only recently, humanity... This is an awkward as fuck sentence to read, even in English. Only recently. Recently, humanity has discovered is a much better sentence. Populate with a race of intelligent talking dragons. It's almost like video games. Did I mention that? I think I mentioned that in my original playthrough. I think we're just having playthrough 2.0, only without any of the screens. And a lot more repetition. But maybe I should start at the beginning. Again, this makes this all the more awkward. When you really look at this from a reading perspective, holy shit, is this clumsy. You start off with an non-standard sentence structure, then you're like, let's go back. So, if I want to replicate that, because the thought is, we're presenting the context of the protagonist. We're going to a new world, but it's in an unusual sentence structure, and then it goes back. You have to capture that in another language. That's a fucking problem, because you can't just do that. Oh my god. These are all terms I don't use very often because I don't use Dutch very often because so many reports I could just write in English. Like, I could do it in the way I want to do it. Or I could keep the awkward sentence structure and make the sentence sound like fucking garbage. Which is fine. I'm just going to go with the usual option. Do we ever say humanity? I think I'm going to go with this. Fuck! So, Only recently is kind of an awkward term to translate. Let's throw it into Google Translate and see if they have any advice. Elaine, that's really, yeah. I think I'm gonna go with that one. That's a good one. Because these I've never seen. So you might notice I'm switching things up. Humanity is Mensight. I mentioned the portal instead of going straight to the verb. And I think that's because of how we work with this particular kind of sentence structure. Fuck, is that what the... Oh. I think I'm going to stick with it. So here's the funny thing. I have to insert this instead of going straight to populated. I think I'm going to stick with the awkward sentence structure and just make the sentence feel very awkward. We got the year is, so we're going to go with that. And then it's like, wait, this just sounds too stupid. Let me, like, I could make this sentence into the big, oh, wait, by the way, this translation isn't garbage. This isn't. Also with, we say door, which is through, or because of, you know. This sentence takes a completely different meaning when you've gotten the true ending, or any ending, really. Like, this implication, once you know that the world's gonna end, holy fucking shit, it changes everything. It's like, yes, because there's no world to go back to, or no humans to go there. Fuck. And here's the problem. I could say... This works technically. There's a problem. I could insert... No, there's no mention of could, and I'm going to stick to the raw translation for this. Here's a funny sentence structure for you. But maybe, that's literally translated. Should I start... Should I begin at the beginning? Is really what this says. And the way it works out, it sounds very cute in Dutch. It sounds very cute. Bij het begin beginnen. Wee! I could say allemaal. But that's a bit of an English... That's like a little too on the nose. If we're going to go for a more loose language, we're going to omit that word. We don't need that word. When is toen... Strange. Am I going to say raar, which means weird, or mysterieus? Because the implication is that it's an odd machine. I was like the term expeditions. The funny thing is, the portal is already mentioned, and here you call the strange device. That is a bit of an odd way to phrase it. Because, I don't know, it's like, oh, a little mystery, but it's the end of the sentence. Which is either smart or dumb. Can I just say, by the way, that the writing in Starbound is fucking garbage? That game, over the years it's been developed, has done nothing and has not gotten better. Fuck. It's just become more garbage. It doesn't stick to anything. Ugh. Like, it doesn't have any idea what it wants to be. It's so many things, but it's nothing. Ugh. I think I'm going to go for vreemd, which is like the most direct translation you can go with strange. The middle of nowhere. That's both a literal term as a... Yeah. That is a literal term. That is a manner of speech. On top of being an actual literal phrase you can use. I've never had to use a term like that. Okay, so here's another way you can do it. You can just think, well, where would I use this phrase? In what situation would I use this phrase for myself? Midden van ergens. I guess you could say that. So I like that there's a lot of context into this. When you start this off, you're like, why are there expeditions? How did a machine get found when human? Like a lot of context is established, and it sets up this really interesting expectation, and I like that. Interesting how these things. Oh no, you might notice that all these sentences, even when they're the same, technically, two extra characters. Layers the clinch. I heard of similar technology before, only on an experimental level. So this is slightly different. Um, I've heard about this technology before, but on an experimental level. This in Dutch kind of implies more. I don't know. Does it work? I'm going to stick with it for now. There's someone else who's going to do the extra pass who might have better understanding of this. But it works. Yeah, I mean, I could add more, but I don't want to stick to something pinchy because a lot of this is longer. Hmm. No, 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 no. I'll be honest, though. I'm still not 100% over the fact that it's like in the past. I'm also impressed that some people figured out, oh, it's in the past. Which kind of got me. Like, so much of it got me. Man. Also, there's kind of a problem with the fact that you do all the plot dumps and exposition things all over every single time. And it kind of irks me for a lot of reasons. Oh, fuck, I just remembered I have to translate this fucking plot dumps! Ah! Two verbs, add a comma. So here's a problem. For when this needs to be that. Here's a problem. Those. I'm going to use those portals because it refers to this one. There's a lot of problems with unclear references, and I want to avoid them. No, no, no. No, if I do it like that, then it implies a lot that it should not. That's another problem with localization, and you know too much. You start to imply things you're not meaning to. So under consideration, I don't know how to translate that. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. I got the language in my head, but it's hard to get it out. So this is a very difficult sentence to translate. Other portals hebben we in the past, andere portalen zijn in het verleden gemaakt. Mass application is not a common term I've seen. I could say, yeah. Yeah, but that's not a very Dutch term. Massale toepassing. I guess a better would be grootschalige. Yeah, that's a better one. Deze... Oh no, I think I know a better one. So this is a common thing for Dutch, is this fucking splitting things up. Toepassen. Toepassen. It's very awkward, but that's how it works. It's a thing you gotta learn. It happens a lot. Surprising lot, really. So this is a bit more. Also, I need to make sure this fucking is actually a fucking word. The tensiest. What the fuck? Oh, yep. I knew it. Fucking hell. Oh yeah, there's a D in there. Okay, so I actually did a little bit of fancy stuff, but this specific portal wasn't known prior. I did that because it makes a little more sense to me. Who built it, when, and why it was built in the wilderness. It's a little bit. I guess there's a little less implication there. I could add this. If I had here, then it would apply to this where, and it would give an implication why it was built here in the wilderness. The most exciting is that it was completely functional. I remove this. Oh, I'm going to add this. This adds a little extra spark. It was completely functional. I could have removed this and then leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Someone else is going to do the polish, or me. I could be the one to clear it. Okay, let's move on. You might notice we're not that far yet. We have got hundreds of thousands of lines left! I see why translation can take forever. Fuck! I could be playing Dishonored right now, but instead I wanted to share my experiences of dealing with this crap. I'm gladly doing it. It's just going to take forever. I do find it a bit redundant to mention a similar portal. I don't know. Is it redundant? Like, the implication is there is one if they can send something back. Who knows? How much information did they exchange about the construction of the portal? Is that a risk to just send information like that? What did they test? Is also a question. What did they test? It's very little translation here. It's a bit flat. That's fine. I could do this. So here's the thing. This means through letters is like door middle von. Through the use of, I guess, is the way you would translate that. That's a great way to put it. And again, long sentences if I don't. So this is going to be a very different kind of translation. It's interesting that it implies you have to keep the portal open continuously. That's kind of what's implied here. It's also kind of weird the dragons invited humans. Did they establish they were humans? How fast was that established? How the fuck did Emra set up the whole meet and tell that early? No, I guess the quarantine was first, wasn't it? And then she had probably had time. So here's the funny thing. You might think humanity in the future has a lot of technology, so they will be able to keep the portal open. The implication you're supposed to get to is fossil fuels are running out, or there's some problem with the power supply. I love how it doesn't immediately make your brain go to apocalypse level stuff, because we have fossil fuel problems, so that's neat. You could go there, I guess. I do like the implication that for every bit they have to keep the portal open, they kill someone. So here I said, unfortunately, the portal required a lot of energy, which means we had to act quickly before the portal had to be closed again. It's slightly different. It doesn't convey that sense of urgency. But maybe someone else is a bit more lyrical. in the Dutch language. I also need to watch if I'm making any English. I could also do it differently. I think this conveys the original meaning better. So this is, we had to act quickly because the portal required too much energy and we couldn't keep it open for long. It's a bit brisker, and it also conveys that sense of urgency. I also use but a lot, but it does come back in the text a lot. I could do this, which is a different kind of but it implies something else. When we made this known, could you just say when we told the other side? I think that's a double D because you add a D in past tense. So a letter of invitation, I'm just going to write it as an invitation. I guess I'm going to put it like this. It now says an invitation for one of us. A letter of invitation is hard to translate, and unless Google Translate is going to give me a very sexy answer, I'm going to stick with this one. Because, fuck if I know. Yeah, a brief of a letter of invitation just doesn't translate properly. This also doesn't work very well for one of us. It's not... I'm just going to go for an invitation. You know, the funny thing is you could always do something like this, and you could put in a quote, and it works a bit better. So this works a little bit better. We were invited to send someone. I guess that works as best as I can. I guess if the letter of invitation doesn't specify how many or whom, then I guess it would be better to just say we were invited to come over, instead of specifying that someone was invited. So this hospitality, keeping some of the sentence alive so that it looks a bit, so that just has a similar feel. Now here's a problem. What I want here is un. That means an. The problem is, because there's a tense here, you could say één. Eén iemand komt naar voren. And then you have to put like little dashes on top of the E to make them look sexy. But I don't know how to make those happen. Oh, look, it's un. Fuck you. I'm going to put a comma here just to create a little bit of a break. Someone took this chance without any hesitation. It conveys the idea, which is that someone took it. Just like, I'm going to take it. This is kind of hard to do without making a completely different sentence. Someone took this chance without any hesitation. It gives that energy, that punch that it's supposed to give you. Yeah, here we can just copy the name. Reza is a name that's not going to get translated. Sebastian might get translated because Sebastian is the Dutch version of Sebastian. And it's one extra A, and it's going to be annoying for someone to see and go, it's not exactly that name. It might get to someone. This is annoying. This is very awkward verbal structure. I knew him, and then I had known him, are very, very specific versions of the English language that are a little harder to translate. Let's see how this works out. So this is a little bit more... Okay, so this is direct translation. I knew him. Actually, I had once known him, which is a little more... It creates a little bit of distance, you know? Sometimes it's very hard to explain this kind of stuff, because the nuances and context that come from this kind of crap, holy shit, are they hard to translate to English. Because sometimes the answer is, that's just how the language works out. Blah! Blah! So this is interesting. This would more translate to subjects, but you don't say you share classes, you do fucking. You share subjects. You might also notice that together doesn't have any particular, because that's not relevant. You just say you shared some things. It's like you have to make some steps because it's more natural. And system is going to be the one who's going to talk as flat as a doornail. I'm going to insert a but. This is a particular kind of but. This is like a huh? But, toch waren we geen vrienden. But we weren't any friends. You know, that kind of stuff. I could say hechte, close friends. I guess I'll do it. Although that does imply a lot more. Nah, I'm going to do it. So this is a very hard to do translation. When we talked together occasionally and hung out with the same crowd, that same crowd, we hung with the same crowd, that's again a little bit of one of those very flat English lines. So the way I'm doing it, we talked sometimes and went and hung out with the same people. It's a very direct translation, but it works. I think I'm going to add this part. So this, yeah, I gotta add the each other part to that because it makes it a little bit clearer that they talked with each other and not just we just talked. It adds a little bit of nuance. We went our separate ways. Fuck, I'm gonna need some help with that. I could say that. However, how do you translate that? Echter. Oh, fuck. That's not where I put that. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to change this. I'm going to put this around. I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to put this. So, important is to carry the tone of the sentence. So here, however, echter, we went our own separate ways. It's a little more direct, again. But it carries the tone of the sentence better. A problem with translation is you're inclined to go for something that sounds logical, but sometimes that doesn't carry the sentence. You want to carry the feeling of the sentence, the emotion, the emotions of the polygons. You must add polygons. We need more polygons or we cannot convey the emotions. When you translate, you must add the polygons. Critical information for translators. I also love that there's so much of this fucking shit is all comments. This is not part of. Oh, cool. Wait a minute. Wait one fucking minute. Let's go to 1446. Where is Reza Icardo? Yeah, oh wow. So those are actual direct. Okay, good. Good. So I'm going to translate the whole thing to his decision. The reason is, if I make it too broad, it starts to lash back on this. I might have to pull this through an actual Dutch spell checker, just to be sure. Okay, this is very, very unorthodox, but I have to make this decision, and I don't want to make it. You might notice there's a question mark here, but he had had to have known, I guess that's that version, what he was doing. Moest toch wisten wat hij ging doen. Fuck, this is kind of hard to do. Oh, now I'm double backing on this. You see, this kind of assertion is a little harder to get through. This is a direct translation. That doesn't have to be too much. You see, the problem is, this kind of had to have known is not very common in Dutch. You don't say that. You have to give either the... Oh, fucking hell. I don't know what to do with this. The sentence. I need to understand the sentence. So let's mull over the sentence. But he had to have known what he was doing. It gives the impression that he understood the consequences. He was going to make him his own. How do you translate that? Is the question now. Is the question. The emotion, the feeling, the context, the nuance, the mwah, mwah, mamma mia, good pizza. That kind of stuff. You got to translate that pizza. How do I translate this pizza? How do I make this into a delicious anchovy pineapple pizza? The answer is, let's try some sentences and see how they work. Yeah, you might think, so the funny thing is about which would be over, but it goes to van because that's how Dutch works. That's how language works. Because you don't think over een beslissing, you think something of a decision. Also, that's actually because I went from thing. No, I think you still... Yeah, I think you would say from the... Yeah. You see, the problem is I don't want to start implying things. I don't want to say... see, a sentence I could use is, but he gave the impression he knew what he was doing. If I use that, I add information that isn't there. And that's a difficulty and a problem that is I guess I'm just going to have to do this literally. You see, I could do this. But if I do this, it gives the implication how you should do it. You should know it on his own. Doesn't work. This is very clumsy. The funny thing is, these words almost directly overlap. The reason I have the question mark is if I do this, it sounds snarky. It sounds, oh, he should have known what he was doing. I don't want to do that. Again, if I can get someone to back me up on this crap, it would help a lot. So foolish. I could say dumb, but that doesn't work very well. I guess dwaas works. So erg is very. But heel is also very. So by doing this, it gives this extra punch to the sentence. He was very, very, very foolish. Yeah, it's better than dumb, because that literally just means stupid. It's implied he's foolish. So this is not either that. It says, of course, it could also be that he was very, very foolish. I think I'm going to just go do this. Yeah, this is a more direct translation. It works a bit better. I do like this extra punctuation I add. It's a nice little touch, little cherry on top, a little extra polygons to bring out the juices. You know, good smells. His courage, yeah. I could say Dupperheit and sort of tie it in together, but that implies that that's the right answer. So here I say, while I could not make any conclusions of my own, the others were very impressed by his courage. Yeah, I guess that works. After all, how the fuck am I going to translate that? That is a very matter of speech that I'm going to have to translate now. Fuck. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work, because that's a conclusionary thing. And not like the after all. You know, that's how it works. I guess uiteindelijk does work. This is a very sloppy translation, but again, it's fine. I think, yeah, extra T, cause the term is opwachten. Stelm is dead. Extra T. Funny thing about the cough skip. It includes the letter S. The term is verhuizen. The stam is verhuis. Ik verhuis is the stam. It's with a D. Normally, if it's an S, it's with a T, but because the letter is a Z, oh fuck, get out of here. Because it's one of those fucking words that everyone gets wrong. But it's with a D because it's a Z! Fucking languages. So this is very different, and you can notice that immediately if you're a smart little noodle. Yeah, the sentence is kind of awkward, because the sentence immediately implies who or what would await him. Then immediately goes, if he does meet someone, even though you've already said who, and then... it's just a clumsy sentence. Here's the thing. I could do a cleanup, and I can make a better sentence. The problem is, should I? I think I'm going to do that, because it's just easier to work with. This works super good. Yeah, this is a good one. Eventually, he could not know what awaited him at the other side, or if there was someone. If there was... So this is a bit clumsy, but eventually he could not know what awaited him at the other side, or if someone awaited him, and what that person might be, might. Yeah, I guess the intentions is kind of way to go. I might do this different on a second run, but this works really well because unlike this one, which immediately established a who, don't do that. If you just go with what awaited him, you can establish, oh, there's someone there. Like the original intention of the sentence is very clumsy as a result of this. I understand the point, manner of speech, phrase collection, but come on, this works a little bit better because this builds up that there could be someone there, and then it could have plans. This is very hard to do. This is not a literal translation. This says, although our speculation could not offer a solution, it brings across the intention. Because it's supposed to provide, speculation isn't going to help, So it couldn't be, you know, like the intention is it couldn't bring any help. And here's the PDA thing, his multi-tool. Oh, I imagine the multi-tool is just a Swiss knife, but they couldn't use a Swiss Army knife because, you know. Donderend. Donderend. Yep. Echoing applause, echoing echo with thundering applause. You know, it's a very common phrase. Donderend applaus. Although the way I put it doesn't really work because then putting this. Multi-tool is impossible to translate because it is a fuck-all term that means nothing. I could say pocket knife, zakmes. When you say zakmes, you usually mean a zakmes. Usually, you refer to a get out of here, fucking note location one unknowing. You usually refer to a Swiss Army knife. So multi-tool. Let's type in multi-tool and see what it brings up. Yep, I can use zakmes because that implies enough. Fungeerde. This is a fucking term that no Dutchman is ever gonna fucking use! No one's gonna fucking use fungeerde, but fuck if it works perfectly in this situation. Only slechts. This is a bit of a different sentence. And then it was just waiting. A bit of more of a Dutch sentence. Oh, no. Toen moesten we wachten. So this implies then we had to wait. You know, it's a little more punchy, a little bit more. This is us surrendering. We have to wait. We're not allowed to intervene. I do like this moment. More speculation. Fuck it. Crowd. Give me a good word for crowd. Menigte, massa. Dispersed. Yeah, I guess verspreid it works. Oh, no. This I got this sentence so fucking wrong. The enthusiasm. That's enthousiasme, but that doesn't work in this particular. I guess verrukking works. Let's give it a little bit of a fucking fuck face. So there's a bit of a direct translation, but it works extremely well. When the enthusiasm died down, the crowd dispersed, and the applause died, which is a very good term. It's a nice term to use in this situation, because for us there was nothing left to do except wait and speculate. It's a bit different. It does touch down on the points, but in Dutch it sounds a lot better. We don't say hours. We just say hour. It's 1 uur, 8 uur. We don't add plural. I like how they kept him in fucking stasis for 8 fucking hours. Quarantine, man. Fuck. Now, I don't include from him, because you don't say that. You don't say, I guess you could, but usually to include a name. I could include a name, because reminding the audience what the fuck his name is isn't too bad of a thing to do. Because it doesn't need to imply nuts from Reza. It's a little different from the original text, but it works a bit better in Dutch. Ongeveer 8 uur later kreeg ons terug van Reza. Yeah, that works a bit better. Because it sounds very rude if you say from him. I don't know. It just sounds a bit weird when they're not around. The expectation was dat het portaal naar een ander land. So foreign in this context is not strange. This is a cheeky way to do it. More foreign, onverwachts. I just say unexpected. But the reality was unexpected. You might notice a lot of fucking ways to say but, which is why I say but a lot. Yeah, yet too. You might notice that I do it a lot because there's so many good fucking ways to say but in Dutch. So many good fucking ways to say but in Dutch. So many buts. Oh, look at all these buts! The expectation was that the portal went to another country, or possibly to another continent. But the reality was unexpected. No, I guess I could do it, but the reality was... I want to say extraterrestrial, because it is a term commonly used to refer to something foreign instead of saying foreign. Foreign is buitenlands, which just refers to another country. Buitenaards is the term we usually use, but that implies a little too fucking much about the story! So I can't use it. So this is different. You might notice, yeah, this is just more foreign. I think you can do that with everything. Unlike English, where you have to sometimes do more, we can just plop an ER. But the real end goal, I guess end goal, endpunt works a little better because it refers to like the end point of a bus. So, it works a bit better. Was much stranger. Outlandish. Let's crank that through the machine. Yeah, there's not a lot of good terms for this. I guess zonderling might work. Yeah, zonderling might work. So this is different. He described a situation that was so strange that everyone thought it was a joke. Initially, thought it was a joke. It works a little bit better. like this kind of subject-person relation is not very common in Dutch. It's also why a lot of sentences tend to end up a little bit different, and that's why it it just de situatie die je omschrijft just is not as common. I'd like the term. I don't know. People might not get it. Oh well, you learn some languages. Learn the fucking words about the language. I did. I can't use hellish. Hellish is commonly used, even though it doesn't have as much of a punch here, religiously speaking. But I'm going to avoid it for the sake of it. I think the term we use is clue. Yeah, the clue. I didn't know how clue was spelled, but there you go. Oh, we actually do use the term punchline. This is directly translating may just, misschien zojuist. Fuck, this is kind of hard. But soon it became clear that we have just done one of the biggest discoveries of human. We may just. Ja, this is. Oké, toch werd het snel duidelijk dat we misschien zojuist. I think this doesn't work though. I gotta pick one or the other. Yeah, it doesn't work in English either. Let's just stick to the sentence. Een van de grootste ontdekkingen van de mensheid hebben gedaan. The dawn of mankind is not a commonly used term in this situation. I don't think so. Yeah, we don't like it would be een van de grootste dingen since the beginning. It just doesn't work in Dutch. It's not a term used like that. I'm just gonna remove that. So it's just the biggest discoveries of mankind. So I'm taking some more liberties here, but they're good liberties. They add a little bit of punch. They add that emotion. They're the polygons I talked about earlier. Remember the polygons? They're important. The portal alone was a huge discovery. But these new details raised it to the next level. It adds a little bit of punch. To just punctuate, it's the details that make it extra special, you know? All these little things, they keep the emotion, they keep the sentence structure alive. They're different sentence-wise, but they keep the emotion alive, the idea that what you're supposed to feel. Like the portal's a discovery, but the details made it a whole new level. Weird to say that since you just mentioned it as the biggest discoveries of the dawn of mankind, but these are the kind of problems we've been noticing in the script so far. Wink! I'm not even 10% into this fucking chapter. Ugh! I think chapter 1 is one of the wordier ones, though. I think every big chapter is just super fucking wordy. This fucking line, though. Ugh. So here's a little bit of a problem. This is, again, a very English structure. The descriptions he sent through, to be specific, the ones of its inhabitants, gave us the impression he was no longer on Earth. Captures the emotion, the idea behind the sentence, Found those describes the place we surmised. I guess I have to find out specifically what surmised means. So this could not be part of Earth at all. I don't know. It could not be part of Earth. I guess I would just have to say he's not on Earth anymore. I also don't know if Earth remains capitalized if you do this. Fuck. Does Earth retain its capital letter? Yep, it does. Because, funny fact, in Dutch, and you didn't hear this from me, months and dates of the week do not stay uppercase. Here, let me show you. God damn it. Use it in the middle of a second sentence, you dipshit. See? Oh, look! Look at that! What the fuck is that? Why is it not a capital? Let's go to Mart. That's a great month. Why is it not a capital? What is happening? Like I said, for some reason we don't capitalize it. So you might want to remember that in case you decide to pick up some Dutch. We don't capitalize those things. Even though it's technically a name. We also stick much closer to the Latin versions, unlike you fucking jackasses. See, we keep that sexy us. Spankety, spankety. What about me? I don't know how legal it is to show all this crap. Whoops! Yep, here comes the italics. Oh, let's just fucking do this. Funny enough, this word translates really nice. It's even shorter. Yeah. We call the inhabitants because Venoemde doesn't work very well. Because, in case you didn't notice, even though this is the only plural one, it's a little more clear to a Dutch reader. Here, it's a lot clearer in English. I don't know, there's something about it that just works better. This is clumsy, because it's, again, trying to translate fucking English. We called the inhabitants dragons. Because Reza, fucking beweren. Fuck, I forgot the word for it. Let's look it up. Because Reza claimed that's what they really were, or at least they looked a lot like, they looked the most, yeah, so that works out great. Yay! This fucking audio is gonna kill someone. Yeah, this implies that a lot more happened when you read it the second time around. This is fucking awesome. So, this is incredible. We actually, yeah, it's like using incredible as literal as possible. Instead of saying that's incredible, we found it incredible. You know, it's kind of a cute little wordplay, and it's really cute. It's cute. It's cute. It's like tickling your tummy cute. This is kind of a clumsy sentence. Yeah, I guess this works. Civilization, not a term I use very often. Let's see, what does it fucking turn into? Again. Little translation. Pretty fucking boring! Electricity. I missed. Okay, let's get down to this. There are a lot of fucking words in Dutch that are kind of a problem. One that I personally love is cadeau. This is cadeau. Hi, cadeau. It's a present. What's also proper is cadeau. What's also proper is cadeau. But if you write fucking cadeau, you're a fucking asshat. You might have noticed there's a lot of debate about the K, such as in contract. Old people will use a K. New people will use a C because of English influences. But this comes up a lot, especially in things like electricity. But I think electricity is one of those words that managed to survive. Learning. Yeah, shorter. This looks a bit of an odd way to end it. So this is a bit odd. Marviva, so who were they? I guess it works. Let's see, how much longer until... I think I'm not going to get anywhere cute. I'm going to be quiet here for a bit. So I omit in regards to alien life forms because, okay, so the sentence is popped up. This is essentially direct translation to what I can muster. We know the existence of thousands of planets light years from here that may have housed life, although there's no concrete evidence for this. I omit the part where it mentions alien life forms because it's kind of the same idea. It kind of contracts it. Not a fix, more just like, it works a bit better this way. Oh, I know better to do this. This works a bit better. So here it says, although there's no concrete evidence for this theoretical life, which works a bit better. It's a bit more on the nose as it is here. Some people are quantum mechanics apparently. So this is a bit of a clumsy sentence. Some suggest the quantum mechanic was applicable, that it was a parallel universe, but this was only this was only speculation and brought no answer, because we could not follow this idea with our couldn't explore this idea with our current means. It's a bit of a clumsy sentence. Again, on a second read through, I might have some better ideas, but you gotta let this stuff sink in. You know, you gotta do everything twice so you have a good idea what the hell you're doing. So this is a bit more personal, but it is kind of like an appendix. There's one more thing I gotta say before we go to the next topic. This is a bit odd, but it kind of works. The isolation came from both sides. It's the best I can do. Mutual, unless I can find a good word for mutual, because again, we gotta keep it a little bit on the Dutch side. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Man, so many of these are just huge sentences. Ugh. Who the hell wrote this? A German? Actually, might have been someone from. Hmm. So another problem I've noticed is this is kind of fucking weird. The mutual part is stretched. This mentions they had no blah blah. They didn't know about the portal. Why the hell does it suddenly go to this? This sentence has nothing to do with the rest. This has nothing to do with anything. Why are you bringing this the fuck up? Oh, video games maybe. Video games. I love that excuse. I think we'll go to all as well. That sounds like a good part to clear it up. God damn it. Hmm. Literal translation, not much to make of it. Not really sure what it was doing. Doing a bit of a callback. What do you need to make of it? This is one of those times where you need one of these fuckers. So the reason this is encyclopedian. Encyclopedian. The problem is, if that umlaut isn't there, it's encyclopedian, and it doesn't work anymore. I shouldn't compare encyclopedias. Okay, let's go over this. Reza shows that he knows what to make of the situation, because he let us know that he had made a deal. In exchange for some PDA devices filled with so much knowledge that it would make complete encyclopedias look like trivia facts, they would supply us with generators. That's basically what this comes down to. It is a very, very context-heavy bit of sentences. Although I think that because this is a new screen, it still works. Sustainable is kind of a hard word to put here. This implies a little bit more. What's completely sustainable is a little bit more, but it doesn't really work without the completely. Because if you just say it's sustainable, it's like, oh, they have solar panels. What's the fuck's the big deal about that? It's that extra layer that's kind of needed to convey the emotion. Emotion! So past knowledge, the idea behind past knowledge is we can't use this information. So how do you translate that without sounding like a dick? Is the real question here. We could use technology. Yeah, this I think implies enough. Again, calling back on Reza because, adding a little bit more of a layer. I'll just put him. You could do it here. I think I'm going to pull this through Google. I'm kind of curious to see because this is one of those entry sentences. Darker make that's not how it works. That's not how that sentence works. That is such. Okay, this is a bit better. Totalistic info. Still doesn't work because it's very literal and doesn't work. So this is a point where literal translations suck. This is a bit more clumsy, but it works a lot better and conveys the original intent. Here's where I make my entrance into the story, because this is where I can... Again, it's a structure that doesn't really work that well. Okay, let's go over this. My prior experience might be a good candidate to deliver the PDAs, and while I wait in the Dragon world for the generators to be done. Gemaakt. So that implies more that they're being produced. I would work there as ambassador for humanity. It's a bit different, but it works well enough. Again, I'm gonna read this again at some point and have to fucking figure this all out. Bit different. An amazing first impression via the use of a mutual service is essentially what that says. Everyone profits and everyone is happy is essentially what this says. Not goes home happy. That's an English thing I have to cut out because it doesn't work. Very little translation, but it works. All is well doesn't go well. It has to be everything seems to go well. Because all is well, again, you gotta know when to cut corners. I think I'm gonna stop there. As you can see, Chapter 1 has a lot of stuff left! Ah, it's Sassy System! Ooh, let's do this one! Let's do this one! I wanna do it! I wanna do it! The problem is... The problem fucking is, though. Maybe this isn't your strong suit. I have to translate the sad parts to it. I don't want to translate the sad parts. Especially not... where's that fucking sense? Even then, as oh my god! Oh, no! Oh, these are going to be so annoying to translate. I think I'll stick with these. Okay. So this is a literal translation. We'll just use that one again. We add that one. And then we do it again. This one doesn't work. The problem is, achievement, I don't think, has a proper translation because it is a video game term! Fuck! I have to... I have to decide on a fucking term for achievement, or I don't use that term. I think I know what I'm gonna do. Fuck, I want to do a good pun, though. I want to do a good pun. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ooh. Ooh. I got a good one. I got a good one, but let me think. Let me think. Oh, I can make this better. I can make this better. Oh, fuck. I can do this better. Fuck it. So this term means to finish. The problem is, afgemaakt is also kind of the term you use when you murder someone. It is like you finish someone, yes, but the connection is a bit stronger. So I can use that. Although that's a bit morbid, and I don't think I can get away with dark humor. I don't think I can get away with too dark humor. So the funny thing is, a lot of words end with like. Like is corpse. So this is a bit more similar to that. So what it I guess it might not immediately land with someone's head. I need to find a good term for this, though. Thesauruses help with this. And I happen to have a link to a thesaurus place. These are all fucking English. Shit. I mean, I could put this... Oh, I'll just do this. I know how to do this, so I'll do this. I'll put the italics around look to give that fucking impression. It's a bit on the nose and it's a bit cheeky, but it works very well. And investigation on the Zooks works very well. For some reason, I've done this kind of thing before. Kid. Oh, that's going to be hard to translate because I don't think that kind of stuff works very well. Oh, yeah, here with H-punch. Obvious reference to Ace Attorney. Yeah, I when he brought that up in the fucking, yeah, I just didn't imagine this. This is pretty cool. This is, yeah. If you want me to do this more, you can say that, because these are pretty fun to do. There's a lot to this. Oh, fuck. Oh, wow. Whoa! Oh, fuck. All the options are at the bottom? All the options are at the bottom. Why? Shake his hand. Don't shake his hand. Kiss his hand. Mwah! I bet he win in a fight with mine, though. These are going to be fun to translate. I guess I do owe to get rid of these ones first. So we can all learn a little bit about colors. Why? Oh, yeah, because the first letter only. Lucky for me, blau. Lucky for me, rood. Too bad for me, it's geel. But we're going back to lucky streaks with green, which is groen. Oh, gray. Almost. Almost. That's a direct translation. Nothing simple. That's simple. Cyan, though. Cyan. Not familiar with that one. Fucking cyan? Really? Huh. Who knew? Video games. Magenta. I think that's also... Yeah, I think that's actually the term. It is. Although roodbaars. Lime. Not lima. Lime. Yeah. Lime, color, wiki. Wikipedia is great for these specific kinds of translations. You just go to the page, and then you go over here, and then you hope your fucking language is there, or you're fucked. Wait, how the fucking... Wait, but... The fuck? The fuck is lime, then? Paladin. Paladin, I need your assistance. You have hexadecimal color codes. I must know. Ah, I'm hitting myself. What an exciting video. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. I think this is hexadecimal. Let's make sure. FF00FF. Yeah, that's magenta, so we know that this works. 00FF00. Okay, so that's just bright green. I don't know how the fuck to translate that either. Fuck. I could go fell green. Bright green doesn't work though. But limoon doesn't work! I guess I'll just call it limoon then. Limoon. Oranje. I think that's almost the same, except we've got a J in there. White. Well, ha 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 ha, almost, but no cigar. Oh, gold, you were just a snitch away. Silver. Almost, but we got a Z. Or a Z. Brass. The fuck am I gonna call brass? You want to call brass? Brass. No. Messing. Bronze. I guess bronze works. Bronze. Oh, but there's a... No! Fuck! I guess I could go messing, but that doesn't work. That doesn't... Geelkoper. It's such a long word, though! I guess I'll just go messing. So messing is a term people don't generally use. Despite it being a pretty common term. I guess it's because metalwork isn't something that comes up a lot. Bronze. Copper. Almost, boy. Almost. Fun fact. Fun fact about copper. Copper. Copper is both a purchaser, a buyer of ND, and copper. Olive. Well, I'll just go with Olaf. You want an Olaf? Brun. You want some brun? She doesn't want brun. You want brun? I don't think teal is gonna work in my favor. Tulling? Okay. Thank you, video games. Show me the teal. Fuck, I knew it. What did it say about brass? It's called groenblauw. Groenblauw, groenblauw. Groenblauw, which means green-blue. It's a composite, but purple. We've got the better purple, because it's Pars. I'm gonna win. It's close enough. Maroon! Castanje... Wait, but maroon isn't castanje brown. What? Eight 80000. Why the fuck isn't this? There you go. Yeah, that's brown. That's roodbruin. Of donkerrood, kastanjebruin. I thought maroon was like blue. Well, we've got to go and copy kastanjebruin. Here I was hoping I could keep them all sizzle, frazzle, razzle, dazzle. Nee. Yeah. Oh, these are a little bit ahead of time, but I can do these, because fuck it. So that's a bit different, because we don't say... I guess it doesn't work. Eager. Eager is not something I have a good word for. Eager. This is a cheeky one because ik was vurig voor avontuur. Now it's got a lot of V in it. And it lines up nicely. Shake his hand. Don't shake his hand. I just love how these options just kiss his hand. Smoochy smooch. Next time, if I'm going to do this again, if people are like, yeah, I want to see more about translation. I mean, I can do this as just like fuck off time. Because this is fun. I should put something to make sure that I know where to go. How about a launcher? Control F here. Big boy. See you guys next time. This was 2 hours of language. Maybe you'll come out of this knowing Dutch. You probably won't, you dip. That's not how language works.